I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. I would first like to say thank you for everybody for showing up for this first town hall of 2020. One of the things we're going to start off, and it's going to be with our city meeting once again, and we're going to speak about our department reports. We're going to talk a little bit about that first and foremost. So the first person we have is presentations. This presentation will be by Alicia Hansford. Alicia is with the Girls Like Us Evolving, which is GLUE, an organization that is that's near and dear to her heart, and she's going to give you a bit more about what this organization is for.
Servants of some government, but I mean, the impact that this has on press freedom that it could have, I think, is really, worrisome to say the very least.
That's exactly right. And in terms of this article itself, it's a case study. This Huffington Post UK article I'm discussing.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Alicia Hansford, and I am the founder and director of Girls Like Us Evolving. This is Ms. Jaquita Osborne. She is the co-founder and co-director of Girls Like Us Evolving. We are a mentor program for young ladies. We are servicing ages 7 through 18 right here in the community. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are focusing on inspiring our young women to overcome and thrive through life's challenges. This program was created because we do not have enough we do not have enough programs in this area to service our young ladies. We are trying to catch them young and early, so we're starting at age 7. We offer group mentoring and one-on-one mentoring at the request of the parents. We go through a thorough application process with them to make sure that our program is right for them. But right now we have 8 young ladies, ranges from ages 7 to 16. So if you have a young lady that requires a little extra help, some tutoring, things of that nature, mentorship, definitely reach out to us. The good thing is we meet here once a month, right here at District Heights Recreation Center, and we have jam sessions for our young ladies. The best part about this is that it's free. The parents do not have to come out of their pocket for anything. We provide them breakfast, we provide them lunch, and we teach them life skills for the 4 hours that we have them. I wish we had more time because it goes so fast. The girls, they learn a lot, but they have fun while learning, and we just keep them coming back. What we're really trying to do is make a huge impact on the community. The Vice Mayor has been so great with partnership with him, and we're doing different activities in the community. There was a fitness event that was held in January where we received part of the proceeds. It was amazing. They had so much fun. My daughter, she attended, and she just couldn't contain herself. She had a lot of fun. So we want to do more events like this. Everything that is done with Girls Like Us Evolving comes out of our pocket. We have rarely asked for help, but now we're at the point where we're growing, and we're going to need community support and hopefully a little bit of community funding. So we definitely, I want to encourage you guys to check us out. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. But some of the things we focus on, and I'll have a table set up in the back, but we want to make sure that our girls are making good decisions in their life. And trust me, it starts at 7 years old and sometimes before. We're trying to set the foundation for them. We want to make sure that they're responsible citizens, so when they get my age, they can pour back into their community and do these things as well. We want to make sure that they're setting goals and have proper problem-solving skills. So those are just a little bit of the things that we're doing here. We look forward to working with you all. We're just glad to be here in the community. Thank you.
Works. Thank you very much for that. Also, too, I want to acknowledge the other organizations in the back. We have Push for Greatness in the back with Brother T.J. Andings. He focuses on our young men, the mentorship of our young men, having various programs in the community for them to keep them out of trouble, to keep them on the right path and doing some great stuff in the community. We have Ty with financial literacy, and thank you very much for being a part of District Heights. I know you just finished a book that you just published not too long ago. Can you come up here really quick so I can see the book? Yep. These are the type of things that are happening all around us in our city. So, Ty, tell them a little bit about the book and financial literacy and what it means. These are us. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm a little shorter than the previous speaker. How's everybody doing? My name is Tyronda, but you can call me Ty. I don't know how many of us learned about credit and the importance of credit prior to becoming an adult. I wish that I would have known about credit and the importance of credit health, the importance of goal setting, the importance of not getting payday loans, and the importance of just not overspending on my credit card until I learned that as an adult. So our program really teaches young people in a fun, interactive way about preserving the health of their credit. So we'll do like bowling activities where I bring the bowling pins in and I have different positions for them to stand in depending on their credit health. So we're always playing different games and doing really interactive things just to make sure that it's sticking, because I've been an educator for almost 20 years, so I know that young people retain the information when they're actually involved and when they're engaged. So I wrote this book this last year for my daughter who is 3, and I looked at her and I just said, I don't want you to go through the things that I went through. I don't want you to learn the way that I learned, which was from trial and error. So I wrote the book, and then I wrote a curriculum that actually starts at preschool. So it's preschool to middle school that I'll be teaching for park and planning and doing different free activities here for our young people as well, because we know how important it is for them to grow their wealth and protect their credit, and that's what this program is all about.
Thank you again for that. We're going to get into our department reports, and we're going to start with Recreation and Wellness Center. Jeffrey Taylor.
Good evening, Commission, City of District Heights. Hello, everyone. Please accept the minutes from Recreation as submitted. And due to the time, I'm pretty sure everyone's anxious. Are there any questions? Everyone, you have the report in your packets. There's just 2 items. We're always busy. February is Valentine's. We have an event on Valentine's Day. And we're also having a new event for Black History Month, and we already have 10 families signed up for it. So comb through. If there are any questions, there are a few of us here from the recreation staff, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you very much.
Any questions from the Commission?
Okay.
No questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have our report from General Government, Dr. Charlotte Crestfield.
Good evening. I'm asking that the commission receive the general government report for January 2020 as submitted in the agenda packet for yourselves and the public. There are no specific updates other than the special election is May 4th, 2020. The hours will be 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you are looking to be a prospective candidate, tomorrow is the last day to pick up an official candidate packet. The due date for all packets is February 18 by close of business 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crestfield. Next, we have the District Heights Family and Youth Services Bureau, Dr. Beverly Sargent.
Good evening. Please accept the Youth Services Bureau report as reported, as submitted. I don't have anything new, different from what's already in the report that everyone has, but I would just like to say that at the Youth Services Bureau, we have quite a few workshops coming up. So if you have any young people or in young adults or in even yourselves who would like to participate in any of our workshops, the nutrition workshop and the gardening workshop, we give $10 gift certificates or gift cards to everybody who attends those classes, and the first one is going to be February 22nd. So please give us a call at 301-336-7600 to find out more information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sargent. You can stay up really quick because can you give us at least the mental health moment?
Oh, I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as a therapist, I'm really into mindfulness. Every therapist has their own intervention that they really like, and whatever I do, I include mindfulness. Mindfulness is really a good activity for anyone who gets anxious, has any anxiety, any person who has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, anyone who's dealing with a lot of stress. What I learned in my research that we don't all have to deep breathe. Deep breathing is great. It helps for a lot of things, a lot of illnesses. However, essential oils are also helpful according to research. And there is a difference between scented oil and essential oils. So if you have any problems with overwhelming stress, if you find yourself being anxious at times and it's difficult to cope, I want to encourage you to try chamomile essential oil or lavender. And research shows it's probably not a good idea to put this on your skin. It's better to put it on a cotton ball and put it in your room, maybe near your nightstand. Or you can also put a few drops in some hot water and let that scent the room. For anyone, there are a lot of people who really would prefer their children not be on medication if they have problems with hyperactivity or problems focusing. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying if you don't like medication, try essential oils. And talk to your doctor first. Thank you. Is that it?
Thank you so much. Any questions from the commission? Thank you, Dr. Sargent. Next report we have is Code Enforcement Department. Ms. Michelle Watkins.
Good evening. Please accept my report for January 2020 as submitted. There is no issues that at this time, but if you have any questions, you can call me at 301-336-1400, or you can talk to me after this meeting. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Okay. There's no specific issues at this time, but if you have any questions or you have any issues, you can talk to me at 301-336-1400, or you can talk to me after this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions for the commission? There's no questions. Thank you very much. Next report we'll have by Public Works, Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Brian Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to ask the Mayor and Commission to accept my report as submitted. Public Works Department's busy as usual. I know we have public participation coming up, so if anybody has any questions regarding my report, I'll be here to answer any and all questions. And that's pretty much what I have tonight.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions by the commission? All right, Brian, thank you so very much. As Mr. Edwards stated, every department will stay around to answer questions that the residents may have. So they are the SME subject matter experts of the city, and they will be able to answer the questions that will be asked. But really quick, I would be remiss again, I don't want to miss anyone. Mr. TJ Anding, can you come up here for a quick second? Because this young man has been trying and putting this program together with these young men, pushing for greatness for the last year, I believe, standing this program up. So I wanted to say a few words about what the program is and how people can be a part. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
My name is TJ, and I'm the founder and executive director for Push for Greatness Incorporated. We are a 501c3 nonprofit youth mentoring program for young men ages 7 through 20. Our base is right here in District Heights. We hold our monthly group sessions in the back right here in the recreation department. We've held sessions since last October. We have about between 5 and 10 young men currently involved in the program. We're still looking for any young man who wants to have a mentor involved. We'll be glad to have him. We're currently in partnership working with the PG County Public School System to do mentorship through the school system as well. Just as Alicia said earlier, the majority of the money comes out of my pocket. And it takes a community to help build this program. So if you have it, we do accept donations, and it's tax deductible. So please, if you have any questions, I'm right back there at the table with the white tablecloth that the directors gave me. So if you have any questions, please feel free. I'll answer them. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you so much. The last person I really want to bring up to say one more word before we get started with our town hall meeting is Ms. Montre Dupree. I want her to talk about the Read Across District Heights event that's coming up in March. Ms. Dupree.
Good evening, everyone. So March 2nd is Dr. Seuss's birthday, but in celebration of reading as a community engagement opportunity, we have decided to have March 7th, which is on Saturday, as a community Read Across District Heights Day. This will be an inaugural event for the City of District Heights, and it will also be the first installation of a little library within the city to promote literacy. And as you know, you can't get very far in life without literacy. There's financial literacy. Reading is a major impact to economic development, especially within our communities. So this event is very important. It will be a cultural diverse event. We have performances by the Culture Queen, Sister Joy Alford, our Prince George's County Poet Laureate, will also be performing. The event is targeted for children, but all are welcome. Seniors, we'd love to have you there. Everyone in the community is welcome, and this is going to be a celebration of reading to encourage reading to our babies. So it's March 7th. There will be breakfast, and breakfast is actually being curated by the Oxon Hill Students Culinary Program, and we're looking forward to an exciting menu of green eggs and ham, maybe some purple pancakes, but it will be so much fun, and just thank you, and we're looking forward to a really great turnout. It will be here March 7th from 8 a.m. to noon, so hope to see you on March 7th. Thank you.
Absolutely. Montre, quick question. There are some members in the audience who have reading programs and read in Forestville Elementary School and District Heights Elementary. Are they welcome? Because I know a few people who have, Ms. Johnson has reading programs and does a lot of reading, and a lot of our other citizens read to our babies. Would they be welcome to read
Yes.
in reading circles?
Yes, we will have reading circles. The main performance will be by the Culture Queen, and she does storytelling and reenactment and very musical, but then we'll break down into smaller reading circle groups as well, so you'll have an opportunity to read. And this will be the kickoff to additional literacy and reading events throughout the city throughout the year. So it won't just be a one and done type activity. So if you're interested in becoming a reader full-time as a volunteer, we'll be creating a program for that as well. So it's going to be ongoing. So definitely if you have a reading program, more information will be available. We can post something on Nextdoor, I'm assuming, the flyer on Nextdoor.
Yes.
And so it will be there. But if you need to reach out to me, my email is very simple, Montre, M-O-N-T-R-E, Dupree, D-U-P-R-E-E, @gmail.com. All right. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dupree. Thank you so much. So with that being said, we will move forward if there's not any objection to the town hall portion of the evening. And I'm going to speak really quick on getting this started. There's a few, the goals. The goals of this town hall is to inform the community about key issues, solicit input and feedback from community members about our priorities, and to strengthen relationships and the trust between the residents and the leadership here in District Heights. So I'm going to give a few ground rules, how we're going to set the tone for 2020. We're going to have each community member will get to speak for up to 3 minutes. We will then, as a commission and the department heads, listen and respond before moving on to the next question or comment. If we don't have, we have somebody who will be taking notes for us also. So if we can't answer the question now, there's a short turnaround that we will have the question answered for you and get it back to you very quickly. We will listen respectfully and with an open mind, one speaker at a time. We will also let others speak and keep comments brief. And most important thing, I think, for everybody in here, no personal attacks. This is being recorded, and we're going to be out all throughout Prince George's County being broadcast. So we want to put our best foot forward and move with those ground rules. And we're going to be pretty a stickler for those ground rules tonight. Thank you so much. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that each commissioner, starting from my right, announce who they are. And one of the things I want to focus on with 2020 is what our vision is. So what we're going to do for this is I want each commissioner to speak about 5 minutes and let me know about, let the city know about their priorities and what they plan to do moving forward throughout this year and as they continue to be leaders in the community. We'll start with Commissioner Miller, and she can announce herself.
It's a lot of contradictions in Ukraine, so I hope this thing around Biden continues to unfold because it hopefully then will lead us back into McCain. And then, of course,
good evening, family. You all look really nice out here.
Democratic Party
It feels awkward sitting in this low chair, so I'm going to stand up. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming out. We all know now this year is 2020 census, and it has been a priority for District Heights. We were able to retrieve a grant for $19,000 to get the word out and to get people to fill out the census. It is so important. So we have a table in the back. We're looking for volunteers. We have a great committee to get us started. And also, I want to thank the city manager, Dr. Charlotte Crutchfield, because I put the request out to apply for that grant, and she did, and we got the money, so that is awesome. So could you just give her a round of applause? That's what I like, teamwork. And we have a great census team, but we need volunteers. We also reached out to the churches. We have Christ Kingdom Church. We have Hemingway AME. We have St. Paul's. Hopefully we can connect by phone. And we have First Baptist of District Heights that Sarah Johnson's going to connect us with. So we have the interest because it is just so important. The reason why we're sitting here is because of funds. But 10 years ago, District Heights was undercounted. And it's printed everywhere that we were undercounted. So I am on the municipalities' complete count. I'm the co-chair for the municipalities. And so, you know, if I'm at the table and I know we need to do something, I'm going to step it up and we're going to get it done. Because the next time when we see something printed about District Heights, it's going to say they were all counted. So this is just so important. Also, I was thinking about how we're going to move forward. And those of you who have heard stories about scammers taking advantage of our seniors. So at the last senior lunch, I did a survey on services that seniors would be interested in as far as estate planning or electricity, Pepco, water, whatever it is that a senior has a problem with. We're going to have some workshops available for seniors during our senior events or lunches, where we'll take a small segment, or if it's a big interest, we'll just schedule to have a workshop. What I'm finding is our seniors are very proud, but they're being taken advantage of. And we, as residents and elected officials, we should be here for them. So if you hear of a neighbor or a senior with an issue, you need to let them know that they have some help. Don't let them try to figure it out on their own. Because I've heard of so many scams where people have lost their homes because they entrusted in someone who took advantage of them. Also, I have here the Prince George's County Department of Family Service Aging and Disability Resource Guide.
They all are tied into that. Where are they on the apartheid policy?
It's on the back table. It's free. Pick it up for a relative, for yourself, because it has everything in here that you would need. Even if you think about a senior that lives next door to you that did not come out, please take them a copy, because the county has really good services that are free for our residents.
Perspectives towards socialism, I think, are making a real mistake of standing outside and observing.
Look at my notes real quick.
Rather than interacting where the actual motion of citizens are.
Another thing is when it comes to the city, we have to think about growing our city. We cannot continue to do things the way we used to do them, because guess what? Technology is just moving forward. So, as you know, I have been working on a draft employee personnel manual for over a year now. It is finally to the point where, as a commission, the attorney, and the human resources consultant that wrote the manual, we will be sitting down this month to go through that manual so we can move it forward in order to help our staff to be better employees and to help them be more creative on bringing better services for our city. We want to give them the great support that we've always been giving them, but we need to do things differently. Website. I know that's like a bad word right now, but we have an awesome website committee. And due to there's been some illnesses and the holidays, we kind of got off track. But we will be scheduling a meeting to move us forward, because also we're looking at recreating, not so much as recreating, but the website now is so outdated, we cannot move forward. So we'll be looking at additional funds to bring it up to date, but we have an awesome website committee to move us forward, and that is definitely the next priority that we'll be working on. And I could go on and on, but you all know my heart is in it because we are a great city. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Miller.
I'm Commissioner Irving. I'm not prepared. I wasn't told until about 3 o'clock today that I was going to present what my mission and my goals and all are. However, my main thrust is to get the citizens involved. I don't want to say what we need to do. I want you to tell me what you think that we need to do. I want to have committees that are chaired like they used to be by the citizens with us as a liaison. When I first got involved and retired, I was the president of the Recreation Council. And we were a good council. We were here to support the recreation staff, but we represented the citizens to let them know what we would like to have, not what they want us to have, what we wanted to have. We had an Economic Development Council with Wilma Smith, and she had a business background. She had her own real estate company. And we had people on that committee from the city that had that in the background, as their background. We have, I hate to say it this way, free labor. We have experts in this city, not just senior, all ages, that can bring their expertise. The website committee is a prime example of that. With recreation, that was my field, military, special, the whole 9 yards. So when I retired, they asked me to help with the camp and help with that. It was excellent. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I know everybody out here has a skill set that they can offer. Not only that, you all see what we don't see. But even more than that, we work for you. So I want to initiate committees again. I would like to hear from the citizens of what kind of committees you think we need. Police advisory committees. A lot of cities have those. So what I would like to see happen, and what I'm really going to work on, is trying to get questionnaires, trying to formulate subcommittees and committees where the citizens chair it. We work with you all, the charter committee, okay? A lot of times we can't be there to all the committee meetings. But you all know what you would like to have. You know what's not working in the city. You know what the city needs to have, or where we should be. We answer to you. We are in a good spot right now. Everything is happening around the city. I don't know if you all have noticed it, but we are in within, I'd say, 5 to 10 miles of Northern Virginia, Annapolis. The county seat has moved over here to Largo. The new medical center is coming to Largo. If you have not seen what they're getting ready to do to the Hampton Mall area, check it out. Look at the houses that are being built around us. And we are an established community, which is one of the emphasis that Angela Osbrook, our county executive, has. supporting our established communities. So we're right, location is everything. And they are expanding 495. Now what we have to do is come together, work together, so we can benefit from everything that's happening around us. So that's going to be my main goal, is trying to establish citizen communities with us working with you all to get what this city needs and desires.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Commissioner Carol Blake, the newest commissioner. First of all, I wanted to, when I first came, I was really excited about the city and all that could be done, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be. So I'm still working toward that and going on that path. I ran on helping the seniors, which all of us want to help the seniors because most of us here are seniors, whether you want to admit it or not. One of the things that I'm getting ready to do, and which is going to be on March 21st, is an expungement clinic. An expungement clinic is for people who have been arrested years ago, or they've been arrested and they don't know that something is still on their record. Even though they didn't go to court, they didn't go to jail, it's still on your record if you haven't got it expunged or sealed. So when you go to apply for a job, you can't get that job because of that, one reason or another, that you didn't remember that was on your record. It might have been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago. It's still on your record. You need to get it sealed if you went to jail and did some time for it, and it's old, you can get it sealed. And if you didn't go to jail for it and they threw it out, you need to get it taken off of your record. That's stopping you from getting a job. And some people, felons, even think that they can't even vote because they have something on their record, which is really not true. You just have to go get it taken off. You have to do the work. So we're having an expungement clinic up here on March 21st from 10 to 2 p.m. Not only are we going to have the expungement clinic, it's going to be people up here talking about housing, where you can get food from. Different tables will be set up where you can get insurance and a lot of other things that's going to go along with it. And it's a confidential situation for men and women. Not only men get arrested, a lot of women have records. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I want to try to bring a market, like at least 2 days a week, to District Heights, where we can get fresh produce, maybe on Tuesday and Thursday when they're already up here at the gym. When they come out the door, they can shop, or if it's a rainy day or snowy, they can bring the stuff on the inside. We can set up the tables in here and sell the produce for little or nothing, depending on the cost that we have to pay to get it. That's two of the things. Other than that, if you have any questions afterwards or you have any desires for something that you want to do that I can help you with, I welcome all of the volunteers that I can get. I volunteered up here for years before I even ran for this. So another thing I want to do, what I wanted to do was something for Black history, but the other commissioners didn't agree with me dressing like somebody for Black history and acting like them, so that was thrown out the window. It would have been only me, just like Harriet Tubman or somebody. That's it. If you have any questions afterwards, I'll be here to answer whatever you have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from all my commissioners. Give them a round of applause, please. One of the things that we did as a commission was work on certain projects collectively to get some things moved. There were some decisions made within the last month that we all had to talk about, deliberate on, and move forward. So it's a collective effort. We're doing a great job. We can do better, but with this. These ideas that we're going to put forward is absolutely going to work. One of the things, and speaking on the seniors, there was an event that was done on in August, I believe, of last year, if I can find that, it was on for domestic violence for senior citizens, and this is November 15th, matter of fact. It was Seniors Against Domestic Violence, a partnership with Barbara Givens, and it focused on awareness, counseling service of victims of domestic violence within our seniors. When we say domestic violence, that's a whole gamut. That is fraud, waste, abuse, neglect, in every aspect of the senior life. That was the first event we done in partnership with Barbara Givens, but she has an awesome program that aids and provides mental health and mental services, or services in general, for our seniors. And actually, that event had line dancing and everything else for the seniors, and we had an absolute wonderful time for that. With that saying, too, I just saw a group of people that needs to be recognized for their community service, and that is Woodland Springs Tenant Association. And if they can come up for a quick second, because they are doing some great stuff in the community, and there's an event that happened tonight that they need to talk about really quick. Can Katria Edmonds come up, and the rest of the Woodland Springs community team, if you don't mind coming up and say a quick blurb about what's happening, what you're doing in Woodland Springs, which houses about 2,000 of our residents here in Ward 1 in District Heights. If you're not familiar, they were established about a year and a half ago, and they're doing some great stuff. So.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Katria Edmond. I'm the president of the Tenant Association for Woodland Springs. This is the board. We actually just coming from a meeting, and for the last several months, we've been having financial awareness at Woodland Springs. We have a company, not a company, but what's the name? A company, a business that actually come in and teach about finances, the different things in finances, with retirement, with life insurance, how to invest your money, how to properly save your money, and just the whole relationship of you and your money. So we brought that into the community, and today was actually the last meeting. That's it.
Yes, the workshops are free. And we will make sure that the mayor will get that information so that he will be able to distribute it to each and every one of you, because we are not getting that kind of education at our schools. And when we together can come together and learn how to take care of our finances, our final expenses, our life insurance, all of that is very, very important. So I will make sure that the mayor and the board gets that information so that you all will know about it the next time we do it. Please come, because we do have flyers out. We did our best to get the flyers out to you guys, but some of you probably didn't know. And we are also going to be putting it out on Nextdoor the next time we do have that. So we're working on that now.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much, Katria, for the work you've done. And I think if you guys can hang around a little bit, some residents from Woodland Springs may be here to help assist if you need more board members, more people to participate. So thank you for coming out after your long meeting. Next, since the commission gave what they plan to do within the city, I also have a few plans and things that I want to focus on as the vice mayor currently, and as a commissioner, most importantly. And that would be one of the things, working with youth in economic development. I know recently that there was a rash of burglaries and crimes and things going on in the city, and we oftentimes point to our youth as the problem for these particular things. And a lot of times our youth do these things and are involved in certain activities because an idle mind is a devil's workshop. They need to have something to do. They need to have a sense of hope. This is why the expungement fair is done, because a lot of our kids go to jail or get unduly prosecuted and is held against them for life. So we have to be the second chances for our children moving forward. So expungement fairs and job opportunities is the most paramount thing that I have to look at, and we as a commission in focusing on our city. We had Mr. Walter Simons, who is the Prince George's County Director of Workforce Development here last week, I believe, and he spoke about all the opportunities. I linked him with a lot of young people in the community to get them jobs. Matter of fact, they sent me videos from their job fair that they went to the next few days after that particular event. So it was wonderful. It started happening then. These young men who were on the street before are now being employed by Prince George's County. It's called a SYEP program, Summer Youth Employment Program for Prince George's County. I think the date ends on February 26th, if I'm not mistaken, either 26th or 28th, where we're going to hire the county up to 6,000 young men and women to work in the youth summer program. So all of our residents, all the young men watching and young ladies watching, we have a slot of 6,000. We probably got another 2,500 left, but this is an opportunity for them to be involved. I'll have that information for you if you need. If you know any young person from the age of 15, I think, to 26, if I'm not mistaken, can be involved with this program for the summer. So youth programming, building programming for our youth and having opportunities for them so they cannot be in the middle of the day doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. As Commissioner Miller mentioned earlier, when she talked about getting stuff together and expanding, and we being such a beautiful community, one of the things we need to focus on as a beeline focus is growing our city. We are a beautiful city, but things are growing around us, and we need to expand at this point in time so we can be even more competitive. And what we get with being a larger city, we're a small city, but what we get with being a slightly larger city is becoming a medium-sized city, and the funds from the county comes into us, and we get more money, more opportunities, more employers, more employees, higher wages, and the like for our city. And it allows us to be more competitive when we fight for grants and the like. So expanding our growth through annexation and expanding our tax base so we can get more taxes into our city to do more things is absolutely important, and that's one of the things that I want to continue to look at. We're also looking at the partnerships with other local officials within the county, other municipalities having and building continual partnerships that can have us grow and get resources that we need by being involved with certain programs. There's money out there, there's resources out there, but if we don't connect with the right people who have those resources, we'll never go any further than we are now. So building partnerships. Partnerships is similarly one of the things I do very well in building with certain community members. I've done it before I became a commissioner. Working with organizations, of course, I always tout the 100 Black Men because there are some very strong men and businessmen and organizations within that program or within that organization that helps us build. So I want to continue to connect and stay grounded with our leaders, both locally, nationally, of course, throughout the county to move things forward. There is a big project on the floor, and that is our senior building. We're going to talk about that, but there are some things that we as a commission just started so many years ago, and as you can tell, the commission has changed a little bit, and some circumstances have changed with that, and I want to continue to work on that senior building because we got to get it done, but we got to do it right. We have to do it right. And looking at numbers, we're going to have to make some type of adjustments, but we have to get it done, and we cannot continue continue to delay that. So that's going to be one of the focuses for me moving forward also. So those are the 4 things that I focus on, and I thank you once again. We're going to go now, Dr. Crutchfield, into the question and answer phase of the town hall, so you guys can hear, so we can hear from you. And our biggest thing, I know for me tonight, will be to listen to understand what you have to say, and getting these questions done is paramount. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll call everyone up as forms were submitted. If you have questions, if you would please fill out a form over at the table to my right, your left, so that you can be acknowledged. First, we will have Stephanie Holland, and Ms. Williams will come to you with the mic. Ms. Holland. She's in the front here.
Okay. Should I come face this way or that way? Okay, my name is Stephanie Holland, and I live here in District Heights. It'll be 14 years in April that I've actually been a resident. And on the 13th of January, my house was burglarized. Whoever did this evidently was watching me to see when I left. I left my house at 10 minutes to 6. It was already dark. I always leave my back light on. I came back at 10:30 that night, and my entire back door had been kicked in. All of my jewelry was stolen, bookcase turned over, dog blocked in the hallway. But I digress. My point is, and my concern is the police department. When I called the police, as I was running back to my car, PG County showed up 6 officers deep in 3 minutes or less. I never saw a District Heights cop. But it's funny because in my comings and goings, I always see them lurking, hiding up in the side streets, waiting to stop somebody for driving a silver car on Tuesday, or pulling up in the driveway to harass your children when they're talking to their friends, not even doing anything illegal. So my question is, as one of my good friends and neighbors hinted at, was that the police force is 9 to 5, that they don't seem to really be full-time. And I'm wondering, do we really have a full-time police force, or are they actually just part-time? Because instead of lurking, waiting to stop somebody for driving a silver car on a Tuesday, who doesn't wait 20 seconds at the stop sign but only waits 10, and isn't out here chasing real crime or responding to calls, what can we do about this? Because we have a police force. Capitol Heights has one. The local municipalities around us have them, and you see them all the time. And I just wonder what's going on with District Heights as far as the police force. And I'd like to encourage anyone in here that doesn't have it, get you one of these systems like with the camera on the front and the back, the doorbell camera, not just so you can watch from your phone, but the ones that alert the police, because it's getting serious around here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to give the commission a chance to say anything. If not, absolutely. One of the things we're going to... Absolutely. But we're definitely in the process of working through this. We are aware of what's happening. Our police department is 24 hours. They work 12-hour shifts. They are always present within the community, always there. As you said, you see them, but they may be at a stoplight or maybe stopping somebody doing this, that, and the other. But we have really made a hard reset on this particular issue that you're talking about. So it is being addressed as we speak. It is being addressed, and I know a lot of people have the same issues, sometimes wondering where they are. But that whole issue is being worked on literally as we speak. And within the coming weeks and months, you're going to see a drastic change in our police force, because we have decided to make some changes that we knew are definitely needed.
The next person, Belinda Willingham.
question is for the council and for the recreation. My question is, what is the policies and procedures for renting this gym? And does everyone that rents this gym and has a party in this gym, do they pay a fee for renting this gym? Does that money go back to the recreation department, or does it go back to the city fund? Is there a profit? Because and my second concern is that there was a party here in August, and it was a party that was on the field. The party started after 7 o'clock, and it went on to after 11. There was ladies walking around half-dressed, and the noise was ridiculous. There was a traffic jam both on District Heights and Marbury Drive, and District Heights and Kipling Parkway. The noise was so loud that it was rocking the houses. The traffic jam, it was really bad. So that's my question, and I want to know, how did that happen? When did we start allowing women to walk around half-dressed at a party? I thought we had a noise ordinance here in District Heights. And if there is a noise ordinance, that party should have never happened after 11 o'clock. And I also would like to know who was responsible for that party in August. And did we make any money from that party? And
Thank you so much. Ava Jeanette, thank you so much.
Jeff.
Mr. Taylor.
What am I addressing here? Your question, Belinda?
I'll answer the second one.
Okay. The party on the field in August was a event sponsored by a partnership, I think, through the Vice Mayor's office. As for the proceeds, I know that's something that he was working on. And as for the noise ordinance, right? That one I can check on. I wouldn't have that right now, but I can get that to you tomorrow. I just have to look upstairs. That's some information that's easy to find, but not something that you carry. I'm hearing some chirping. Who else has a question? Did you fill out a... Okay. All right. That's why I said it's something that I wouldn't have in my back pocket, but if that is true, we can double check and make sure Belinda knows that as well. Was there something else? Am I forgetting anything? No, you have to... now, how are we doing this? Can they ask questions, follow-up questions?
We got 3 minutes.
Oh, so they have 3 minutes? I don't see anything moving. So what are we doing? Y'all know when I'm up here, I'm about business. So where we going? Let's make sure the structure is good first.
Okay, I'm Commissioner Irving. I'm going to answer your question. Okay, what is supposed to happen is that a form is supposed to be completed by the Recreation Department. If there's alcohol, then there's supposed to be police here as well. Let me know when I get wrong, okay, when I'm telling it correct. Wait a minute, let me finish. I'm telling you that's what was supposed to happen. I'm telling you what's supposed to happen. You complete a rental form. Then that form is completed. The Recreation Department does their due diligence and makes sure that everything is according to the way it's supposed to be. If there's supposed to be police, if there's supposed to be insurance, whatever the case may be. It is then supposed to be presented to the commission for approval by the commission. Okay? I'm here to tell you I cannot think of the last time we've had something come through there where we voted on it. But there are a lot of parties going on. The one in August, I knew nothing about. I was over at my cousin's house. I saw people coming on the field. I asked the people that were going, where were they going? And they told me that there was a function on the field. I got a lot of calls from a lot of citizens who were upset because they could not park, because of the noise and everything else. So, this is a town hall meeting. I'm going to keep it real. Did not know about it. There are other parties on that calendar that have not come through this commission. Okay? And people are supposed to pay. The employees get to use it one time, half price of what our fee is. Citizens also pay to use it, but they have a discounted fee. Then people who do not live in the city, just like with Maryland National Capital Parks and Plan, and if you do not live in Prince George's County, you want to use their facilities, you pay the outside fee. This is how it was laid down. Am I not? Okay. This is how it was laid out, how it was voted on, and how it is supposed to be. Is it being done that way right now? No, it is not. Okay? And that's all I have. I just wanted to answer your question because it's no sense the town hall. We're supposed to bring out things so that we can get everything working the way it's supposed to be. Okay.
That's it.
So what you guys are noticing is that the commission still has some work to do to solidify a process for your recreation department to follow. Is that good? Yeah, let's make sure everybody's on the same page, how the process rolls down. Okay, let's make sure we include that, okay, guys? Everybody's okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you now.
All right, just want to make sure. Any questions? No. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a problem whatsoever, but I'm going to say something really quick. Yes, the event, it was called a Carafesta. There was no questions from the floor, but I would be more than happy to answer. It's called a Carafesta. What happened was there's 28 countries that represented 28 Caribbean countries that came out to be a part of an event that we had. These quote-unquote half-naked people are in Caribbean garb. It's opening up our city to just different cultures and Caribbean understanding. I am African, I am Senegalese. I'm proud of that. So with the particular understanding, bringing culture, different types of culture into our community was something that I thought was a very good thing to do. It was partnerships with other organizations within the county and that have done things like this before. So I was very proud of the event. It was very well attended. It was the first annual, so there were some hiccups, so some things that I could have done better moving forward. So that's just what it was. It was an event that was very well attended. Once again, working with our citizens. Actually, for that event, every citizen of District Heights was invited for free. So it was open to our area. So that's the truth. So that's all I'm going to have to say. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your question.
Sarah Johnson.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone. To the Vice Mayor, Commissioners, my neighbors and friends. The question that I have really has sort of been answered. I'm concerned about the senior center, and there are a lot of us in here who were a part of that committee when we had the committee as we looked at establishing the senior center, and that has been at least a couple of years ago. I was here for the meeting in January, and one of the pieces was voted on, another piece was not voted on, and we were told in a few days. Well, here we are a month later, and we still don't know what's happening with the senior center. I know that we talk about the money and we talk about the square footage and all of that, but every day that we wait longer, we're going to pay more for that square footage. I don't care who the contractor is. If he tells you he can do it cheaper, he's lying, and what's going to happen is that you're going to end up paying more later down the road. So I would want us to just move forward. We have everything in place. Let's move this project forward. I'm tired of waiting on it. There are many of us who have worked many hours, who've been here many hours, who have looked at the plans. The plans have changed over those 2 years that I sat on the committee. The plans changed. We finally got to a point where we thought we had everything in place. As I recall, I believe some of the permitting has already been done, and Brian, if I'm wrong, you can let me know. But we're ready to build that. We have the money. We need to move forward with the building of the senior center. So that's what I'm asking of the commissioners. Let's make a decision and let's move forward. It's been a whole month. When you all said a few days, those few days have turned into a whole month, and you still haven't moved a thing. So my concern is that we move forward with the senior center. So I'm hoping that within the next few days, you all will make a decision and we'll move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Brian, can you come up and say a few words about the senior center?
Yeah, I can just tell you, I appreciate your comments, Ms. Johnson. I haven't been a part of the project as long as you have. I've recently been involved in it, but I can tell you this is a fact. We got about $250,000 invested into this project as we speak. And there's some tough decisions got to be made because we need another $2 million to build the building. And one of the problems we're having is the low bid on the project is trying to back out of the project because we're taking too long to make a decision because he has to bond for the job, and we're tying up his money, tying up his ability to bid other jobs. So it's crucial a decision is made, either we're moving forward or we're not. Because if we lose the low bid, the second low bid is $250,000 more. So with the $250 we've already invested, I mean, the numbers are getting out of hand. And you're right, if we rebid it, that means last time we rebid it, the prices came in higher than the first time. So the longer we wait, the higher the prices are going to be. And if we don't build the project, then we lose the money we've invested to this point. And redesigning is not an option to lower the square footage to make it cheaper, because if you do that, you have to start the entire process over. That means you got to pay the architect all his fees. You have to get it re-permitted from the county. This project has been approved by the county. The permit is sitting over at the county offices waiting for us to pay the money to pick them up. So we're at a point now where we're either going to have to move forward as designed or possibly scrap the whole project. That's how I understand it. I've been deeply involved with it in the last 12 months, and some of the commissioners also have been in the meetings. If I'm saying anything that's wrong, please correct me, but I don't believe I am. So that's where we're at. So I hope I answered your question.
We met about 2 weeks ago on the senior building, and we will be meeting very soon when the treasurer returns with a decision. There was no talk about scrapping this project or delaying it any longer. We just need to look at the dollars. You're talking $2 million. You're talking about 10,000 square footage. That building is probably now, $5 million. So, no, we haven't scrapped anything, but we really need to look at the numbers, and we needed that time to look at the numbers. So we will have a decision moving forward when the treasurer returns. Thank you.
Angela Webster.
I would like to follow up on Belinda's question about the funds from the Recreation Department. Number one, when this recreation gym is rented, how much does a non-resident pay? $1,500. Where is that $1,500 documented in the city's records?
It's documented upstairs inside the governor's office, treasurer's office.
It's in the treasury audit. Okay, so that says to me that this gymnasium is a revenue-producing entity. Thank you, darling. Entity. So
Every Saturday.
every Saturday. So if Public Works gives us a resume, gives us documents how much money they brought in monthly, the police department gives us documents about how much money they brought in, then I want to know why REC is not giving a report to the residents on a timely manner. And Vice Mayor, since you said that you want us to be a transparent city, it's time to hop to it, okay?
Again, great question, Ms. Webster. The pricing for the facility rentals, $1,300 for District Heights residents, $1,500 depending on if it's hourly, that changes, but $1,500 for non-District Heights residents. The Recreation Department's responsibility is to collect the money and turn the money receipted up into your government's Treasury Department. After that, that money is funded into a general fund. Now, the particulars of that, you have to wait until our treasurer returns, okay? Now, if you're asking the question, Ms. Webster, as to if that money could be given to the Recreation Department, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I work for you guys. Do you know what I would do with that money? Everything from the aesthetics that you see around you to working on some of the facility issues in the back. Okay. So there's not just me, but we all can tell you what we would like to do with that money. So great question. Thank you.
Let me just add a response to your question, Ms. Webster. When the finances are turned into general government, it goes into the revenue stream for hall rentals. All it takes is the commission to decide that they want to add a expenditure line item on the reverse side of the revenue that's been received, and it can be used for expenses. When the funds go into revenue, it goes into our general fund, which is also known as our unreserved fund. Any revenue that comes into the Recreation Department, it's calculated for the entire fiscal year. Those funds that are brought in as revenue, we balance it based on the previous expenditures for the previous fiscal year, and that way, the money that we've received is basically used as leverage for the following fiscal year when it's time to plan the budget. But as an expenditure line item, if that's what you or the Recreation Department would like to see, it takes a vote for the commission to add the rental on the expenditure side of the budget. The next question is Pamela Jennifer.
Wait a minute, one more thing. It was another part to that question, and it was asked, is this a revenue producer? Is that what it's supposed to be? It is indeed supposed to be. However, when people use it for free, you are not getting the revenue that we should be getting when people use this facility, because it should be paid for when you use it. Okay? So I'm just putting that out there so that you will know. It is supposed to be a revenue generator. And I was at one time trying to get the Recreation Department, Public Works, and then another third of it going into wherever it goes in the city. Because these are the people right here who have to make those parties work, even the free ones. So we need to be charging money for the parties that are in here. There are probably just as many free parties as there are parties that we get revenue from. So that's something that we as a commission need to make right.
Can you hear me? All right, I got a big mouth. Thank you. I love the turnout that's here tonight, and the questions have been just wonderful. My question is related to the recent news, piggybacking on what a couple of other folks have spoke on about the recent break-ins and burglaries here in the city. And I have a couple of questions. I don't want to monopolize on the time, but I do recall, and I don't like going backwards, but I recall with the past police chief that the police officers were a lot more vigilant on the streets. I mean, I would see them several times during the course of a week coming down my street. And I just hate to say, I have not seen them in several weeks. Now, I know that they're out there because I see them many a time parked on Marlboro Pike. I'm not sure what's going on there. There may be some crime going on, but at any rate, we need them here in our city. We need them here. We need them patrolling. We need them also to be abiding by the laws of the city. If you see a stop sign, please stop. Okay? Also, I'd like to ask, what are the processes, the protocols, the procedures after you take a report from an individual? Is there any follow-up? What happens? What happens? I'll chat with you later on, but I would like to know when they come to your home, do they look around? Do they do fingerprints? I know we're not really sophisticated with those kinds of things, but we should be, and we can be. But I'd like to know, what is it that when an officer comes to your home, what do they do? And what is it that they do afterwards? Is there any follow-up? I think that's it for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Jennifer. Currently, Prince George's County Police is providing oversight to our police department. Just had a meeting today with Captain Schmick. He's the Assistant Commander for District 8 for Prince George's County Police Westphalia Department Division. As of today, based on the break-ins that a lot of you are speaking of, we do have more vigilance with our police department as well as Prince George's Police Department. We do have an all-hands meeting with our sworn members on Monday, along with the command staff from District 8, in regards to further plans and strategies to try to combat the break-ins that have been occurring. The captain for District 8, he will be handling all operational needs for the City of District Heights Police Department until the city decides to hire a new police chief. They're not to provide oversight for more than 3 to 6 months. It just all depends on the type of candidates that we receive when we put out an announcement for a new chief of police. They are willing to provide our police department from Prince George's County. They're willing to provide a lot of free resources for training for our police officers. So again, probably within the next 30 days or more, you will see a lot more foot traffic from our officers. You'll see them coming up and down the street, like a lot of you have been complaining about, because we do have residents that call in on a weekly basis that have lived here 15, 20 or more years that are used to seeing police ride up and down their street, and they don't see them at all now. So we are working on it. Prince George's is not trying to take over our police department, but they are restructuring our police department because it is needed. This was voted on by the commission unanimously, and hopefully the measures that they have in place, which were handed down by Chief Stawinski for the Prince George's Police, hopefully these measures that will be taking place will help combat a lot of the crime and other complaints that you all have. I can't hear you, ma'am. Jeanette has it. Say it again.
Have an honest family talk.
The highest priority is being a citizen of District Heights. It's not raising money, it's security. And we don't have that now. We don't have it with the police department, and we don't have it with PG County. So we need to brainstorm and get some ideas how we can live a very safe and secure life. And one of the things that we should be considering is getting street cameras put up on the streets. Because if we have police and they're not doing their jobs, At least we'll have the cameras looking. A lot of cities are doing that now. And even having floodlights where it's a high traffic crime areas. What are some of the ideas that are floating around, or what do people think about that?
Okay, you filled out a form, correct? Is some of the comments you're making on the form that you filled out, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Anything related to police, I am forwarding to Captain Schmick, and he will be in contact. If you'd like to give me your phone number as well, I can add it to your form that you completed. But believe me, a lot of the strategies I cannot share because this is being recorded. But as of today, a lot of different strategies are being used. Our police officers are out there. The county is out there. They are being very supportive. And I have the word from Chief Stawinski that they're going to help combat the crime and the break-ins and any other thing that we have dealing or surrounding public safety in the city of District Heights. Okay, ma'am?
And the last question I have is police cars. I hear there's a lot of unmarked police cars, but are there a lot of marked police cars so the people could see there is a presence? We should have a balance right there.
Yes, we do have more marked police cars than unmarked. Currently, I know we have 3 unmarked. Only 2 are actually being in service by an actual police officer. 1 is parked in our back parking lot. But we do have more marked police cruisers with the city's name, the city's seal, and also a cruiser number.
Okay.
Yes, I'm forwarding all of that to Captain Schmick, and he can give you the full gamut of when a police arrives to your home, the questions that are supposed to be asked, and anything else that is supposed to be done all the way up until follow-up. Okay?
Been a police for lots of years. When you respond to a burglary, when I come to your house for a burglary, I'm looking for everything, how the person got in, the security around your house, if you have any security around your house. I talk to you about who's coming in and out of your house. Do you think it's somebody in your house that have done it? What time do you leave? What time do you come back? I look around your house for entries that they can get in entryways. A lot of people have been going in through basement windows. So your basement windows, if you have a basement window that just slides back and forth, they can go in your basement window anytime they want to. If a burglar wants to get in your house, they can get in your house. That's the bottom line, whether you have a burglar alarm or whatever you have. The best insight for that is your neighbor. Each one needs to be watching each person's house. I know who lives right there. I know that person is not supposed to be there. When I go somewhere, my neighbor's over here, across the street, and back here. They know that I'm gone. So they look for a number of things. They do fingerprinting if they have access to that. They do fingerprinting. They check your doors, and your doors will wind up black, and it's hard to get the fingerprint stuff off your door. You may have to change your door if they come and do that. So it's a lot of things that goes along with the investigation for a burglary. And trust me, they are trying to catch these burglars, and they will catch them. They will catch them. I know they will, because it's getting a little sickening. Did that answer your question? What do you have? The follow-up afterwards, they keep you informed on what's going on with your case. And you can call a detective that's assigned to your case, because usually it's a burglary detective that's assigned to that case. And they will call you with follow-up, or you can call them anytime to ask them what's going on, have you caught somebody or whatever. But you'll know if they catch somebody because you'll get a subpoena to come to court. And if it's somebody in your family, you'll still get a subpoena to come to court. Don't change your mind after you know it's boo-boo to live with you. I'm just saying.
Next, we have Mr. Stanley Montgomery. You had a question regarding home burglaries.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stanley Montgomery. I live 7102 Mason Street. I also got a call from Mr. Brooks, which is his neighbor of mine as well. I've been in the neighborhood like 34 years, and so I've seen a lot of changes in the neighborhood. One concern that I have now is with the burglaries. When I first moved in the neighborhood, I had didn't even hear hardly of any burglaries and that kind of thing like 30 years ago, but it seems like recently more and more things are happening and that kind of thing. I know the young lady over there mentioned that, the police department are doing some things. So some of the questions have already been answered, but I'd like to know some detail about how the police department are handling the influx. We hear folks are moving out of the city and they're moving into the lining areas or city line areas to Washington, D.C., and different things are happening and that kind of thing. What can we do as citizens? I'm already a part of the Nextdoor. I have a Nextdoor app, and probably a lot of people here, and I heard some phones going off, and too, I have a ring too in the camera. My home was broken into this summer. I got the guy on the camera and whatnot. The police came by. They didn't take any fingerprints or anything like that, but I did have the camera, and I did broadcast the face of the person over the thing. After that, I heard nothing else about it. My neighbor behind me, his home was broken into 3 weeks ago. Just kicked in the front door. He couldn't get in the back door. Kicked in the front door. Stole a few small items. He told me again, no fingerprints were taken. There's a house on 7105 right across the street. The street light is out. It's been out for a long time. And that house has been broken into twice. It's vacant, but it's been broken in twice. The street light is out there, and I had a question, how long does it take to get a street light fixed and that kind of thing as well. So, like I said, I had the Ring app, I had the Nextdoor app, and probably a lot of you here, my neighbors, had that. What else can we do as neighbors? Mr. Brooks, he can't be here this evening. He works from 2 to 10, but he's talking about going around in the neighborhood alerting people and this kind of thing or whatever, as to what's going on. So what else can we do to help the police department to kind of rectify some of this stuff and prevent some of these things that are happening in our community? Thank you.
Again, as I stated, all of the police matters will be forwarded to the police department, mainly Captain Schmick. We do have an all-hands meeting with our sworn members on Monday morning at 1100 hours. So all of this will be discussed at that time. I will ask that something be drafted regarding strategies and things that you all are asking regarding that can be done community-wide by our constituents. Next, we have Ms. Pearson.
Okay. What? It's on. Oh, okay. Mr. Fisher, you might can help me out. And Ron, they used to have something called Neighborhood Watch. And each block or 2 blocks had a Neighborhood Watch committee. And they kind of policed their area. And they worked in conjunction with the police department. So I don't know if we still have those. Do we still have it? And the same thing with CAP. We have another organization that rides around the city. And they notice where lights are out, if there are people working on cars, if there are vacant cars. So Mr. Fisher can expound on that. But that's one way we can do it, have citizen committees.
Good evening, everyone. As far as I know, we never did have a block neighborhood watch. We have a neighborhood watch for the city. And if you get your newsletter every 3 months, you'll see in there where I request volunteers to sign up for individual block captains. I never get any response. We are a small contingent. We meet every other month. Our next Neighborhood Watch meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday upstairs at 7 o'clock. If you're interested, you want to help to try to get this city a little squared away, come to the meeting. Thank you.
On the street lighting, I wanted to ask Brian, how do we check through the neighborhoods at night to make sure the lights are working in the neighborhood?
What has been done in the past, actually since I've been working here, we really depend on the police department along with our residents to, report lights out. Because obviously we're not here at nighttime, so it's hard for us to locate these problem areas. But if somebody reports it, it's a lot easier to dealing with Pepco now, because everything is computerized. So we can not only report it, we can track it and keep, because a lot of times in the old days when you call, 3 months later, the light still wasn't fixed. So we get a lot better response from Pepco. But we do depend on our residents to report lights when they are out. That's the only way we really know what's going on. So hopefully I answered your question. Can contact me, can just call the Public Works Department, talk to Ms. Barnhill Love. Most people do report it to her, but whoever answers the phone, just give them the information, and we can actually go online and locate the pole number and everything right on the computer. So it's not a really hard process once we know they're out. We've been getting pretty good response lately from Pepco. And the number to the Public Works Department is 301-336-7417.
I did just last night call Pepco about Foster Street. There's 2 lights off over there. And I gave them the number that was on the pole, and they said they were going to get it fixed this week. So I'll give you the number also so you can follow up.
Yeah, that would definitely help. I mean, if you want to do that, you can actually get the number off the pole, call yourself, but still report it to us.
Okay.
So we can call also, because the more calls you get about a particular light, the quicker you'll get a response. So all the above works.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good evening. I want to let you know that I called Senator Griffin and invited her to this meeting tonight. And of course, I asked my vice mayor to make sure that she was coming so she could explain to us whether or not we would be penalized if we decided that we would not borrow this $2 million for this $4 million project, because we have change orders and those kinds of things. And I hear Ryan as to I don't know why.
Testing 1.
Given all the information for her eloquence in explaining to us and asking the question on behalf of the residents, since she's a resident. My question, the economic, when you were censored, and then something comes. Now, the economic development was something that economic development was something that Mayor Paul and Mayor Sims instituted. And I have my certificate that was given to me during that time period. And so things disappear. The Recreation Council, I've said many, many times, incorporated cities have recreation councils. And Commissioner Urban got rid of the Recreation Council because she felt so intimidated by Claudia Pearson. That's true. The third thing, I won't get to what I wanted to say. The third thing is I just had a conversation with Vice Mayor about this August 15 date that I was given. Recreation calls me and tells me, whatever you're going to do, you have to end it at 2 o'clock. Because a commissioner, now he's a commissioner has something that they want to do. So what you're going to, I'm like, no, because I have the recreation for 10 hours. Well, what are you doing? No, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, because when I tell you what I'm doing, then you end up getting somebody to do it before I can do it. That's what happened when we were doing Lion King last year. So I have told him we're doing bodyguard on that day. And he still thinks that he's supposed to have this Caribbean festival, and we paid $700 for lighting, $200 for painting. So they have given us recreation data. They have given us what's on my list is, this woman talked many times. I want to know about SunTrust giving our children a scholarship. Our money is in that bank. And I suggested last year that we have a finance or scholarship, some kind of scholarship given to us by SunTrust Bank. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Xander Harcourt. That's just nobody. Well, we used to have some. Here you go.
Hi, neighbors. Hi, Commission. I'm Xander Harcourt. I really appreciate everybody tuning in to Next Door. Hopefully, we will have a functioning website. I'm on the website committee. I'd like to thank everybody on that. Also on the Census Committee. I want people to, one thing we're not talking about on the Census Committee is if you don't participate, we lose money. This isn't about just being counted. This is about money. And so everybody that doesn't count, we lose money. I'm going to go run through my list really quickly because this should be longer than 3 minutes, but I will comply. First off, I'd like to say that I'm very disappointed that we don't have police here to be present on such an important occasion at the beginning of the year. It breaks my heart that our community is going through this rash of crime, and the people that we need to hear us are not here to hear us and answer to us. First off, I'd like to say something in conjunction with Commissioner Blake about have we considered a diversion program working with the city to help our youth who may be first-time offenders and those people that may be breaking into our homes. One thing that we're not talking about is the tie between home insurance rates with rising crime rates. We need to nail this down because what's going to happen is insurance companies are going to reassess us based on the number of crimes that are happening in our community. That's one of the reasons we didn't want to share a zip code with Forestville. And so what's happening is we need to stop this now because we are on fixed incomes. I am a single person. I own a house. I'm on a budget. And it's tight because I want to own a house, and I understand that. But many of you are also on fixed incomes. I'm also very keen about being fiscally responsible, and that's one thing that I want the city to start doing when we talk about being transparent is to provide an audit of where all this money is going and show us exactly where that money is going. If the recreation center is bringing money in, that money should go back to the recreation center. It should not look like this. Next, I want to ask questions about why are we leasing cars? Why aren't we leasing cars for the police department instead of purchasing cars and owning them? I think that's something that would be, used to be a police officer. We never purchased those cars. We leased those cars and the service with them. It was cheaper for us overall. Next, I want to know what is the cost of our police department and why aren't we just turning the police services over to PG County? If we're going to use them, they should be servicing us. We're a small community. We could put that money somewhere else to support our seniors and our youth. And that's all I have right now, but thank you.
James West.
Good evening to all of you. My name is James West, and I'm on Roslyn Avenue, which is a speedway right now. And my concern is that police department somewhere down the line get out and then begin to inspect the traffic going up and down Roslyn Avenue. There's one school bus that I'm very concerned about, bus 5249, and I don't care where it's being recorded or not. Bus 5249 is going to end up in an accident with the kids on there soon or later. Take care.
Thank you. LaDocia Jones. She's seated here, Jeanette. Oh.
Hello, everybody. My name is LaDosha Jones. I live on Mason Street. I've been a resident of District Heights for about 35 years. And I had two questions. One has already been addressed by other people, which is Mason Street has become a speedway. And I am so afraid for the children. It can happen anytime, all day, half of the night. Mason Street is definitely a speedway, and we really need to look into this. The other question I had is, what is the protocol if there is, I guess it's a public works issue? We have a problem with the street, and we had this problem twice since I have been here. About 5 years ago, it started with water leaking up out of the street. The street is vibrating, the houses are vibrating when buses go past. That problem was fixed. Now the street is starting to buckle a little bit. I had to call WSSC last night to say, hey, we have a water leak in the middle of the street, and it had been going on for about 6 hours. They came out, they assessed it, they came out today, and they fixed it. As far as I know, they fixed it. The water was still running a little bit. But I'm saying that to say that's just the start of another major problem, which means the street underneath needs to be fixed because the street is going to continue to buckle, the houses are vibrating, and we cannot take this. Before, it was so bad. A lot of the houses were damaged, okay? We had the insurance company come out and they're saying, well, there's nothing we can do, this is something the city has to take care of. So what is the protocol as far as getting something going to have someone come out, look at these issues and fix them as soon as possible?
Well, what was your address, ma'am?
Mason Street, the 7200 block.
Yeah. Mason Street. We've had issues on Mason Street in the past, as you know. But District Heights is on 2 occasions paid a lot of money to rectify these problems. So it's not like we haven't done anything about it. We've actually... The problem is the Metro buses were causing a lot of vibration on both sides of Mason, on either side of Kipling. So we did rectify that. It took us a little while to get the funds together, but it was fixed. The water main break that you're talking about, it was reported to WSSC a couple days ago. It took them a while to respond. And you're right, when the water is leaking like that, it has a tendency to undermine the roadway. Sometimes you don't necessarily see the damage until 6-8 months later. After they make their repairs, they fix the street, then the street starts caving in and we start having vibrations and so on. I did have that conversation with WSSC yesterday. They assured me that when they make their final repairs, that they're going to make it correctly. And I suggested to them that I'll be let know when that takes place so I can supervise it myself like we did the last 2 times when we paid to have the streets repaired correctly. So we are aware of it. Your concern is real, I understand. We don't want it to happen because all that money we spent is like throwing it away. So we're on top of it, and feel free to call me anytime you want for updates. I can give you names and numbers of the people I've talked to if you like. So hopefully I've answered your question.
Of the 2020 election comes from a dark money nonprofit.
Rita Palmer.
Hi, my name is Rita Palmer. I live at 7200 Lansdale Street. I'm back again on the trash company. I know everybody's having trouble with the trash companies, but instead of them throwing them on the curb, they're not going to put them back, but could they at least close the cans so that they're not full of water? Is there nothing we can do with the trash company? I just don't understand why we can't correct those problems. My next question is the police, of course. There's a lot of problems with the police, but whatever happened to Officer Weems? Have we found him?
Are those all your questions, or you have more? I want to answer the first two.
Okay, I'll listen.
Okay. For the trash company, it's their practice after they dump your trash or recycle, they keep the lid open because it alerts the supervisor that the truck has gone down your street. But what I can do is talk to their Prince George's operations person for Bates and let them know maybe if they can come up with something different, like maybe turn your can over on the curb or on the grass that's abutting your curb. But that's the practice that we will explain, that once your trash or recycle has been dumped into the truck, they have to leave the lid open so that the monitor or supervisor knows that they have gone through your street and serviced your street. But I will contact Bates and see if there's something else that can be done to assure the monitor that the trash or recycle has been picked up. Because I do understand your concern regarding when it rains and the water goes into your can, especially if you're at work all day and you can't get your container until in the evening. Officer Weems will return on Monday at 9 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
My next question is, we have a lot of money we're spending on building. Could we spend some money on this building? Our front steps are a disgrace. The rail has been broke for years. The floor back there is a disgrace. Fix our building. I've been here a long, long time. Everybody knows that. But I think we need to take care of our own building first.
I just want to address the front entrance, the stairwell to the front entrance. You're 100% correct. It's in dire need of repair. But I also got an estimate a few years ago. It's going to be almost $50,000 to fix it. Part of the senior building, part of that project is to replace those steps and replace the flagpoles and that entire concrete slab. Actually, we're going to relocate the stairs a little bit more towards the center of the hill. So the holdup is the project. If we're going to move forward with the project, it makes no sense to throw away $50,000 because they're just going to tear them up anyway. Because it has to be relocated for the building to fit where it's supposed to fit as designed. So everything, the steps are going to be in the same place, but closer to the center. Excuse me? It's right there where the two trailers are located. That square spot right there, it's a two-story building. It's going to be an entrance over there in the hallway. Excuse me? The wall will get taken down and the steps will be relocated towards the center of the hillside where it is now. So the repairing of those steps tied directly into whether or not we're going to move forward or not with the senior building. If we're not, then we're going to repair them. Flagpoles will just be shifted down if you're looking at the building to the right a little bit further. Everything gets shifted over a little bit. But it is part of the design to redo all that up there. Because the whole slab, along with the steps, are undermining and sinking. Along with the rails, have rotted and rusted off. So it's not that we're ignoring it, it's all tied together. So I hope that answers your question. I imagine something's going to be done on a temporary basis as they're doing while everything is under construction. That's correct.
Yeah, what's the question?
Does the red canvas just wind up sending the same information through the same bad calculus? I guess that takes me back to what Chris
Open cases that they're working on and the closure rate. That's something important for us to know. And also, who handles those investigations for open cases?
I think you added that open and close rate to your speaker's form, so I have that. I did see that on your form, so I'll make sure that that gets addressed and added to the report as well. For the investigations, we don't have an investigator with our police department, so any investigations that have to take place are handed over to Prince George's County, and they make sure that they present it to the proper division. They have a robbery, burglary division. They have a division that deals with domestic violence. Any more detailed cases, they have a special investigations team for more serious crimes. So those are the persons that normally are in contact with the complainant or the victim once the things are turned over to Prince George's County. No, the city doesn't want to turn the entire police department over because we do have a history of having our own police department. It's just, I'm sure as you know and everyone else here in the room knows, we've gone through a lot of changes within the city probably within the last year and a half. From losing a police chief, getting an acting chief, having probably 3 special elections to fill vacant seats with our mayor and commission, and we have a special election coming up in May. So from restructuring our police department and getting assistance from the county, where they do have subject matter experts that can assist us at no cost. Again, they're not trying to come in and take over. They're not going to be our police department. We're going to have a District Heights Police Department. However, there's some things our current officers need to learn. They need to be retrained on so that they can be efficient in their job. You're not going to always see them in the car. Foot traffic is something that the county has talked to them about. You're not going to always be in the car. You need to walk the beat. You see what I'm saying? So these are a lot of different plans and strategies that they're trying to implement so that when we do get a new police chief, they can have the city's Bible that's been approved by the commission to move forward with a full-fledged police department that will run efficiently and professionally. And also, to that end, the HR manual, that's something that we've had in place for about a year now. We're moving forward in possibly approving that probably within the next 2 to 4 weeks. We have a finalization meeting with the consultant probably in the next 2 weeks regarding that. So we're moving forward. There's a lot of things that have happened that gave a negative light on the city, and we just want to move forward. We don't want to kind of keep rehashing some of the old things that happened. We want to move forward. We have residents that have good ideas. We have elected officials that are currently seated that have good ideas, but we just want to make sure that everyone that's on the team is really on the team and don't bring that negative energy. Okay? Did I answer your question? Okay. Ms. Pearson, you already had time. I have to go to the next person, and I've also been told that we need to try to close out the meeting. I don't want to be disrespectful, ma'am. Ms. Basil, Stacy Basil. Go ahead.
I'm sorry? We don't have a SunTrust scholarship, Ms. Pearson, so I can't answer that. We don't have a SunTrust scholarship.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Answer your question, please.
Good evening. I moved to District Heights approximately 10 years ago, and it was pretty safe for me and my children. Last night, I live on Bruton Street. Last night, someone took my Ring doorbell. I have recordings of it as the person came up with their face covered up with a screwdriver, dislocating my Ring doorbell at approximately 11:30 last night. This morning when I woke up, I came down to District Heights Police Office. It was closed. To make a report, it was closed. It says it doesn't open till 9 o'clock. I went to the Barrett Company. They said they don't do reports. So they gave me a phone number. I had to go all the way back home to call the non-emergency to wait for someone to be dispatched out. So I missed the whole day of work. This has shaken my children. Now I gotta wait for a police report, which takes 72 hours before I can send it back to Ring before they disperse me out a new one. So in return, I went out and bought security cameras, which is ready to be installed tomorrow. So now my question is, the crime is picking up in District Heights, as we all can agree. I don't know what we can do, because, like I said, I never had any problems. My children done grew up. My daughter's a senior now. She started in elementary school here. And now she has a half-a-day schedule, so she's kind of annoyed about coming home now. I mean, are they going to come back? Are they plotting to break into my house? Or what? And I mean, Ms. Miller, you live across the street from my sister. So you know the neighborhood is quiet. Right, you live on my street. So, exactly. And if I show you the footage of the camera, the way they did it, it's just, it's sad. So the police did come out. We went, yes, it was a District Heights cop. He did come out. He took up a report. We went and talked to some of my elderly neighbors, because on my street is nothing but elderly people. It didn't pick up on her doorbell. I went up the street to a couple of people's houses. It didn't pick up on their doorbell neither. So, I don't know.
Let me just say this. If anything happens at your home and you feel unsafe, don't wait until the next day to come to our police department when we have persons here in the office. Call 911. They may always say call non-emergency. No, call 911 so someone can come right away and try to come to your aid and assist you in whatever it is you have going on. All right, so please remember that. Pass it on to your neighbors, your friends, even people that don't even live in District Heights. But if you have something going on at your home, it may not be a burglary, but if it's something that you feel is public safety related, call 911 immediately so the police can be dispatched. If our police don't show up, sometimes it may be because they're on another call for service. So you may get a Prince George's County police officer, but that's just sometimes. I'm not saying that's always the case if some of you have encountered not seeing a District Heights officer, but please call 911. Don't waste your time with the non-emergency 301-352 number, because I know they will keep you at home for a very long time. Call 911 and give them all the pertinent information that they ask you for, and wait for an officer to be dispatched to your home. In regards to your report, I'll make sure we get it expedited and try to get it to you before close of business tomorrow so you can get your new Ring system, okay? All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Lastly, Claudia Pearson.
Oh, Claudia.
Is she still in the room?
Oh, Ron said he signed up. Ron said he signed up.
Good evening, everybody. I've been to a lot of these meetings, so my question is that usually afterwards we don't really see any results. There have been a lot of great ideas that have come out of meetings just like this. This is probably our third or fourth town hall in the past year, and I was just wondering, as a commission, what do you all even do when these meetings are over? Because I'm hearing a lot of the same issues over and over again, and just in my opinion, it should not take 7 months to hire a chief. So I don't know what you all do when you're not in meetings, but it seems like the residents are saying the same. It's the same theme. Every time we come together, there were a lot of suggestions about Saturday hours. Nothing. There have been suggestions about keeping the place cleaner. Nothing. I mean, it's really the same stuff over and over, same complaints about
police, nothing. So I'm wondering what is going to be the fruit of this meeting tonight? Are we just having a conversation, or is there going to be some movement from this commission? I know since a year ago, I really haven't seen any on any of the issues that most of the residents have brought forth. I mean, it's really been an extremely ineffective year. Oh, I want to answer. That was a question.
One I'll address, and that was the Saturday hours. We had started Saturday hours for code enforcement. I know that for a fact. And then we had 2 code enforcement officers and 1 young lady left. We have not been able to rehire another code enforcement officer. So I know for a fact that we did do that. We did do that Saturday because that was one of the things that I was also concerned about, that if people have to have a permit to work on their homes, and if they don't, they're going to get some type of citation, then people work 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. If we're here 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, and we're not here on Saturdays, when can the people get their permit? So we had started that, and then when Ms. Parker got another job, we stopped it. And also, that same person, when she came in on Saturdays, she also, or whoever the person was from code enforcement that worked, would ride around, because there were a lot of things happening on the weekends because people knew we didn't have anybody here. So I'm not going to get a permit, but I'm going to put up a shed anyway. So we had someone riding around to ensure that some of the codes that were being violated, people were finding out, or that she would see it and then she would give a citation. But once we lost her and we're down to 1 person, then we can't keep the office open on Saturdays. But I just wanted to give you that clarification. That did happen. That one thing now, not everything else. Okay. So that's a suggestion. Yeah, so... And I'm saying that's a suggestion. Okay. So did everybody hear her suggestion? Her suggestion was more or less that if minutes are being taken at these meetings, that by the time the next meeting comes up, we should be able to address the issues that were raised at the previous meeting as to what transpired, or if it didn't transpire, why. Did I? Okay.
Good evening, neighbors. Ronald Waters on Foster Street. I am also a member of CAP. We're short-handed, so if you have concerns, we would like for you to join us. If you don't want to be seen, we can work with that too. It's a lot in the city to talk about. I have a couple things, and basically it's already been discussed. One thing on the police department I would like to know is who is the liaison over the police department at this time, whether it's functional or what, but who is the liaison of the police department?
It's coming. The liaison used to be Commissioner Irving. The liaison position falls underneath all of the commission at this point. It is a collective effort by the commission to liaison the police force currently.
Next thing is, I know Commissioner Irvin spoke about Citizens Advisory Committee. We've talked about it, we've talked about it, we've talked about it. My question is when? Time is now. When are we going to form these committees?
We'll go back again. When four get together, when we get together and have our meetings and we can discuss and come up with some agreements on what we're going to do, then we can set up these committees. Okay? And if that doesn't work, then maybe we can set it up, Ward 2 will have some committees, because I can get together and do that, just for me. But I think it would benefit the city if the four of us came together. So I'll commit to meeting so that we can establish committees, because I definitely would like to see them. Now you all need to see if you can get the same commitment from the other commissioners, and then we can come together.
Okay. The other thing is the city charter, which we had started on, I guess it was early last year sometime, and things fell apart. At the 2 meetings ago, it was said in a couple of weeks. The calendar month has changed. When are we getting back to the charter?
Absolutely. We have a lot going on within the city, so that's going to take a while. That's been put on the back burner for a second until we can handle some things, especially within our police force, within our city. We're doing a hard reset, so it hasn't been forgotten, but it's been delayed.
I beg to differ with you, because this is what committees do. Commissioners, police department, whatever, but we had a committee. So I don't think it's anybody that was on the committee that's doing anything with the police department or the special elections. The committee can go to work and get it going to present to the commission, and you look at it at a meeting. I mean, we can't keep waiting.
We'll talk offline about that.
We're going to be talking about the same thing.
Thank you.
And that's about getting involved.
Yes, sir.
We got people that want to get involved. We need to utilize the people that want to be involved. We can get a lot done.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Edwin Green.
Oh, have mercy. Nice to see you. Let me say, my name is Edwin Green. I really don't need a mic, but I'll work with it. They call me Ed Green. And I've heard most of you address the two concerns that I had. So I'm going to make it short and sweet. It's not acceptable to not have a chief. So I'm going to change my questions. One of the questions was, where were we with our police chief? Now, after this conversation tonight and listening to my neighbors and my elected officials, my comment now is, when are we going to get a chief? But why we don't have a chief? Why we don't have a chief of police? I have given all due respects to what we are experiencing in District Heights. It's not acceptable. When we're talking about public safety, it is not acceptable. When we're talking about the charter, we're talking about the charter that runs this city, that run you, that run us. It's not acceptable. And I'm only saying that because Mr. Green has been fighting for years with these two issues. I've watched the police chiefs come through here and work with them and watch them get fired. Those who I know was doing the job, could do the job, could stop all of these complaints and concerns and bring safety to this district. And I watched them being rolled out. for different reasons. I want you to know now, because I was upset with my citizens during election time, and I've shared that with those who know Ed Green. I've shared it. I'm disappointed with my turnout. 5,000, 6,000 people, and it's all over the world in the news. We can't get 500 if we get that many at voting time. Now, I've been over 10 years in District Heights as a resident, but I've worked 40 years in Prince George's County as an activist, and I moved here because I loved this place. I worked with this place from your mayors, from Carroll to our former mayor here, Sims. I moved to District Heights because of the property beauty, the lovely community. Now, we've been fighting over these situations and things for years. And a lot of you know, because I have been behind you, pushed you, tried to get these seats filled by competent, responsible people. Now, enough is enough. I will say this and sit down and shut up. Do not accept what you're giving to this general public of people who are your constituencies. And to my general public, you have got to educate yourselves as to what they're doing, what they're voting on, who's voting, and what's happening behind the door. Bring that transparency in front. So from here on, you should know what the issues are they're voting on and who voted which way. And then when we don't like it, get in here. Let's get them out and put them in. Now, the thing I don't feel bad about is that we're not the only ones, because this whole country is in a mess. So what I'm speaking about now is like I want to vision them in Congress. But nevertheless, thank you. And then too, I want to share in your setup here, with your rules and your regulations, they might be fine and all right. When it comes to the business meetings, that's a different story with due respect for times and answers and questioning.
Yes, sir.
But when you have a town meeting, you got to let these people respond back. When a question is asked of a concern, you've got to let the public weigh in with that same concern.
I appreciate that.
So we got to have 2 meetings. Let's bring one back tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
And I will say to you, my apologies. You don't see Mr. Green because I work at night.
Yes, sir.
So I struggle to keep up with my district, but I'm a night worker. So maybe you guys should think about the night workers too.
Yes,
but
sir.
I can't make night meetings. And I broke my neck to make this, and I'm losing money for it.
I appreciate
That's why I'm upset.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody's time and attention. One of the things that it's getting late, I wanted to make sure people patronize young people in back. But there's other mic. But anyways, it's 9:30 at night. I do value your time and your attention. Thank you very much for this. And what we're going to do now is adjourn. We're going to fellowship a little bit and have a conversation. But we're going to end the meeting starting now. Thank you so very much. Thank you, District Heights.